Hello, so I'm here to do my first impressions on Just Cause 3. This is the PC version, so yeah, it's probably going to be the definitive edition out there. I'm running this on a GTX 980 Superclocked edition with an Intel quad-core i5-4690K processor, 8GB of RAM from Ripjaws, it's the blue kind, and basically 1TB hard drive, not hard drive, 1TB SSD drive, and a 500GB hard drive. And so far I've been able to max the game out with everything turned on. It's not that much of a demanding game when it comes to graphics and resolution, but we'll talk about that later. My first formality with Just Cause has been Just Cause 2. I rented it on a PlayStation 4 app called PlayStation Now. So basically I played the PlayStation 3 version. And PlayStation 3 version of Just Cause 2 was so horrible. Terrible anti-alias, very bad graphics and resolution, and everything from far away was just very blurry. And it wasn't blurry to where, oh, it's acceptable in a way. No, it was so blurry you couldn't almost see anything. Hell, if it wasn't for it being a free roam game, they probably would have just done the same thing they did with Silent Hill, where you basically run around in this fog and have the draw distance come closer to you while you're walking. So I got it on the PC just recently. I bought Just Cause 2 because I wanted to try out multiplayer before Just Cause 3 came out. And well, Just Cause 2 was way better on the PC. Everything was sharp and very fluid. You guys already seen how it was. And I decided to play that game. It's almost like San Andreas multiplayer, but it's on steroids. So I had a good time with that. And then Just Cause 3 came out, and well, here's what I gotta say about Just Cause 3. When it comes down to Just Cause 3, it's almost the same, but in better ways. There's some good and there's some bad, but I'll explain the good first. What I figured out is that you can actually use the grappling hook way more than you could in Just Cause 2. You can now latch it to stuff in order to make it destroy other things. For example, if I wanted to, I could take the grappling hook, put it on 3 things, then attach it to the ground, and then if I hit the shift key, it throws those 3 things on the ground if it's strong enough. That could be good for destroying those phone poles that have those things on there that you have to destroy, or it could be to destroy those red big giant gas tanks. It's just, you could use the tethers for way more things than just to grapple from mountain to mountain or to grapple onto a person. And I think that the grappling hook is way more fluid, and the problem with that is that they tried to implement the grappling hook for the vehicle itself. When you have a grappling hook combined with a wingsuit, you pretty much don't need a car or a helicopter anymore because the wingsuit goes just as fast, if not faster. They don't go faster than planes, but if you don't collect one of those flares and call the rebels, you don't have a plane with you all the time. You just have the traffic on the street, and that's not saying much because since Just Cause 3's map is so huge, you're going to want to have a helicopter or airplane. So yeah, the fact that Rico can't even run in this game sort of pisses me off because it destroys it when it comes to combat. When you're getting into a shootout, you most likely want to run, but instead you find yourself having to grapple hook to each building because you can't run. But I guess it's not that much of a big deal. Another good thing is the weapons. They have all sorts of unique weapons. Different rocket launchers, different machine guns, different shotguns, a few snipers from what I could tell, and different pistols. These weapons can be delivered by rebel drops. Not only weapons, but vehicles. If you collect the vehicle and you drop it off to a certain location, it collects it and you basically can call in a rebel and they drop it off by a jet. It falls down into a crate and you can collect your weapons and your vehicle in the same package. But the only downside is you need a flare. So you need to do missions or activities to get these flares. You don't just get to throw flares whenever you want to and collect vehicles randomly. There might be a mod for that when it comes down to multiplayer on the PC version, but we can only get our hopes up and fingers crossed because for right now in single player, unless they have a cheat code, you can't really do a rebel drop whenever you want to. So that's sort of disappointing. And when it comes down to the helicopters and airplanes, the helicopters and airplanes handle the same as Just Cause 2. Take it with a grain of salt. You might like it in Just Cause 2 how the airplanes and helicopters handle, or you might not. But either way, they're the same. For me, I take it as a bad thing because the helicopters were just way too clunky in Just Cause 2. They didn't feel fluid or move around, and in this one, it's no different. It's almost hard to aim the guns because of the mouse and keyboard, and I'll explain that in the bad side. But when it comes down to it, yes, helicopters and airplanes are most likely the same as Just Cause 2. And I guess it's a good thing because I didn't want realistic heavy physics. I wanted real fast planes, on the opposite of Grand Theft Auto 5 where all the planes are very unrealistically slow, especially for their model. It's good to see the planes just take off and go fast like realistic planes, especially for the map size. You don't want a plane going 45 miles per hour. And at the moment, there is no buildings you can enter, or clubs, or cities like they had in Just Cause 2. Not that Just Cause 2 had enterable buildings, but I can suggest that you blame the current generation of consoles for that. Because of system limitations, it seems that the structures of buildings and cities have been narrowed down to just landscapes and other things. It's not as good as it used to be in Just Cause 2, and I don't know why. Is that saying that for its time, the Xbox 360 and PS3 were more powerful than the current generation? Probably. All I know is I don't see more of what I seen in Just Cause 2. And that's starting to become a lot these days with the current generation of consoles. But the game nonetheless still looks beautiful, even though it had to be narrowed down so they can handle it. What the hell? Why would you need a bunch of cities and nightclubs when you can go and shoot gas tanks down with a jet and just blow up a whole entire bridge? I guess that it's a win. But by far, this game is the Grand Theft Auto I always wanted it this year. Or was it 2013? Doesn't matter. This is the Grand Theft Auto I always wanted, but Rockstar couldn't deliver because they had to sell out to realism. This game lets you roam around, steal cars, and just do whatever you want to. Have your cars delivered, you get to pick weapons, and you don't die that easy. Well, unless you get struck by an airstrike, then you die easy. But other than that, this game doesn't take itself seriously. And if you want the game to be seriously, well, you're picking the wrong game because this game is just where you just screw around. It's almost like if Saints Row, Far Cry, and GTA had a baby, and this would be Just Cause. So yeah, this game is good and I'm going to be playing on this more and make a retirement from GTA 5 since that game never gave me what I wanted anyways, and it stressed me out because the AI never missed, your health bar was way too weak, and you died by 5 bullets, and etc. But when playing Just Cause 3, I find myself having way more fun, just roaming around and just shooting whatever I want to, and not really suffering that much of a consequence. Don't get me wrong, when you do shoot the cops, they do come after you in tanks and other stuff, and it can get hard. If you don't start grappling hook far away from them, you can die. You don't find cover and they're all rushing after you and shooting at you, you can die. So it's not all easy just run and gun like a Saints Row game. You do have to have caution, because when the 4 or 5 stars come after you, you basically need to take cover. But it's still way better and having a bigger chance than most of the games out there today that try to stand for realism. Now, let's talk about the bad stuff. Well, if you're an AMD user, you're pretty much screwed. They have graphic glitches and crashes a lot, and Square Enix said they're offering to fix it with a free patch. But that's not saying much because right now you can't really do anything. If you're like me, someone who has a GTX 980 and an Intel i5 or any other, then you're pretty much good to go. But that hasn't stopped me from seeing a bunch of bugs and everything else like that. But don't worry, because that doesn't stop glitches and bugs from happening to me too. Usually after a mission or during a mission, either way, I find myself going to 60 FPS and dropping down to 20 FPS really quickly to 15 FPS, and it only lasts for about a few seconds, like 5 seconds, then I'll hop all the way back to 60 FPS, but that's a glitch I experience sometimes on occasions. And another thing is that the graphics are actually ported from the PS4. If I haven't mentioned that already, which I think I did in an earlier part of the video, I shit you not. The graphics are literally implemented from the PS4 to the PC. How do I know? Well, as a PS4 gamer from all of last year and the year before that, I know what PS4 textures look like. And PS4 textures have that sort of blur and fuzz to it. Just look at the grass and you'll see that weird blurry fuzzy type of stuff. And that is on Just Cause 3 for the PC version, and you could find that same sort of texture stuff when it comes down to Far Cry 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5. You look at games like that on the PS4 and you will see that same type of texture or resolution glitch that's in the grass, where it just looks fuzzy and sort of strange, like a carpet pattern. You can't really get what I'm saying until you actually see it. But that's probably one of the things that pissed me off the most, is that developers these days don't want to have their own original port with bigger and better and more features for the stronger system. How come I had to have PS4 textures on a PC? I mean, it's not bad, the PS4 textures look really good, but it's just the point that the game could have looked more beautiful, more sharper, more crisp than it already is. Don't get me wrong, it is sharp and crisp, but when you look at it, you see those PS4 textures in there, and it's just, you could have had better. And I know people are going to get pissed off and call me a PC elitist and all that stuff, but hey, I paid nearly as much as you did for your console for my graphics card, so I expect it to outperform anything for the range of price I paid for my PC. But other than that, there's another feature I don't like about Just Cause 3, and I think they should fix it. There is no settings to tweak your mouse sensitivity. I went to options and I went everywhere, but I could not tweak my mouse sensitivity, and that really pisses me off because I cannot aim well with the helicopter. When I aim on the ground, yes, my aim is superb, but when it comes down the helicopter, nope. I can't shoot anyone on the ground because their cars move too fast and my cursor can't keep up. And there's nothing I can do about it to accelerate the sensitivity on the mouse from the game settings. I don't want to accelerate my mouse settings from my PC in the control panel and stuff like that, because then I'd have to revert it back. And it would probably get really annoying in-game when I'm trying to shoot at stuff and my mouse is flinging everywhere. So I don't want to do that, just to get the helicopters to shoot better. And when it comes down to it, yes, that's why I couldn't hit anything in my previous video, because it felt like I had the lowest settings turned on my aiming sensitivity, and I could barely move it with the mouse no matter how hard I tried flinging it back and forth, up and down. It was just impossible because of the low input of the sensitivity. But there's still hope. If you guys can email Square Enix or get a hold of them somehow and tell them that there's no aim and sensitivity adjuster in the options, maybe they'll add one with a patch or update and it will be able to fix this problem. But as far as I know right now, it's really hard to aim a helicopter or any other vehicle that you're mounted to when you try to shoot a gun turret or something like that. Anything with a vehicle combined with weapons, it is very hard to shoot because it feels like you can't move it at all no matter how hard you jerk your mouse left or right. So yeah, that needs to be fixed. But if you ask me, this game is actually really good and I recommend buying it if you liked GTA 4 or at least Saints Row 2. But this game ain't for anyone, so I can respect your opinion if you don't like this game, because you really have to have your own imagination and you basically have to have fun with what's given to you in this world. Some people don't like that and they don't have any creativity, so after they're done with the story they don't really do anything and they can't do anything, which is why games like GTA Online last longer. But hey, at least if they make a Just Cause 3 multiplayer, if you have it on PC you'll be able to get on there. But other than that, you have to have fun with the game that it gives you, or you won't be able to have fun at all. And some people already say they don't like the story because it's cliche, but I honestly like the story. I think the missions are good too. The missions aren't just one GTA copy and paste where you go to one checkpoint to the other and do this and that. They're each different and they're each unique, so expect yourself to have to figure it out for yourself, because you'll be doing different things at different times that require different mechanics, so pay close attention to the game, otherwise you're not going to have fun because you'll be confused. But that's really all I had to say for the game. Either you'll like it or you won't, but it's Just Cause. You can't really expect anything more than an open world game where you blow up stuff, you steal stuff, you grapple hook to everything, you wingsuit, and you basically cause chaos. That's what it's all about. So either you like that or you don't. If you don't like chaos and just going around blowing stuff up, shooting stuff, getting into a fight with these sort of military dictators, then it's not going to be your game. So yeah, if you don't like just shooting and fighting, you can at least go into the forest and explore the world. But that's all I really have to say about the game. I think that the character and stories are unique and cool, and then my personal favorite is probably Mario, because he's like a Roman Bellic, except for he's less stupid and he doesn't get you into trouble, and he actually knows how to defend himself when it comes to a firefight. So that's pretty good. If anyone hasn't tried this game out yet, I probably recommend a rental before buying it, because you never know if you'll like it. If you do like it, then chances are you'll probably buy it. If you don't, then that's pretty much a waste of money for you. But in the end, I like the game. Yeah, I'm a sucker for third-person shooters that are in free roam, where I could just explore wherever I want to and shoot whatever moves. That's just my type of games. Anyways, I'm out. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay.